road trip. I call shotgun. No. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Always happy to see you guys here, and welcome back to my film review series of Final Destination. With the release of the newest film in this franchise, Final Destination Bloodlines, which is the 6th film in the series, I thought I'd take this opportunity to go over all 5 of them, including the new one, followed by a ranking, so watch out for that. And if you've not seen it yet, I've got my review of the first film in the description below, so check that out when you can. This time, we'll be talking about Final Destination 2. My favorite in the series, mind you. Released in 2003, Final Destination 2 follows Kimberly and a group of people who, after surviving a deadly car crash pileup, they are all stopped one by death, which forces them into teaming up with Claire, the only living survivor in that first film, to try and beat death once and for all. Now, as I said before, this one is the one that I favored the most. That probably stems from me growing up while this film had come out. And it had come out the same time that Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, had come out on DVD. I remember my Nana buying both that one and Final Destination 2 for me. And from the moment I popped Final Destination 2 in, I was just hooked. Again, I was a teenager at the time. It's the one I grew up watching the most. I have watched the first one by the time this one had come out, but it's something about this one just mesmerized me the most, even to this day. It's just one of those that I've always favored the most out of all of them. My mind has just been blown ever since by it. Not that I'm saying that it's not flawless. It kind of is, but by very little standards. I have my own problems with it, but very little. But before I get into all that, let's start off with the positives for Final Destination 2. I love the connection with the characters that kind of goes in part of that first film. And this is one of the reasons why I favored this one the most, especially at the time when it came out. I mean, even to this day. This is the one reason why I favored this one the most, is that connection for the characters in 2 to the events in 1. To where you have the characters in 2 that kind of is wedged into the events of 1. There's this whole scene where they're talking in the car in Final Destination 2 to where they explain that certain characters were in the background of that first one. And I thought that was a pretty interesting writing choice, especially in the way it connects with the characters to the events of that first film. It was written in such a way, and I don't mean to make this sound more than what it is, but it was written in such a way that made it kind of jaw-droppingly insane. But in such a clever way that when you watch that first film, you'll always remember, oh, that's the scene that the character in the second one was talking about now. Okay, I get it. To this day, that still gets to me. I love that side of storytelling. I know to some that might be a little bit overwhelming, a little bit overstuffed, but to me, I've always favored it. I've always enjoyed that aspect of this film, of this particular entry in the series, to where you just have a special line of events that connects so well, and it just makes me think of, and this was before Saw had come out, it just makes me think of like that interconnection of how those films were. Maybe that's the reason why I grew in love with Saw later on after that. It's just one of those things that when you really stop to think about it, it's kind of mind-boggling. If you could let your expectations run wild and just shut that down just for a second, which I'm pretty good at doing that by now here at 37 years old. But still, I'm just saying, I really do enjoy that kind of storytelling in films to where it makes it really interesting and kind of mind-blowing in a way. Which brings me to the story. Because of that, I like how they kind of do this thing to where death kind of works backwards, to where if the characters had survived and had done certain things in this, then the events in that film would have been interrupted as well. So it's like they do this whole kind of timeline thing when they root Final Destination 2, the way that they did, especially with the story and with death working backwards and how sadistic this thing is, I really do appreciate it. I really do enjoy it a lot. I appreciate it and enjoy it at the same time. To where you have this entity that's so evil, it tries to trick you even more in this. To where, you know how I said in that first film's review, for those of you who watched it, that it's more of a thinking game of how you beat this thing. It's not by brute force. Well, in this, it does it even more trickery. And you have to be even smarter into defeating it. Otherwise, it will definitely beat you, because all the tricks it pulls. And I really did enjoy that turn of events, that aspect that this film brought. It's like what sequels are supposed to do. They're supposed to up the ante. They're supposed to kind of make it more challenging. Go bigger, bolder. And I thought they succeeded very well with Final Destination 2. Because you have all these twists that pop up throughout the film, and mostly through the third act, that involves our main character. And I thought that was pretty riveting. I thought it was pretty exciting. And it's something that, even to this day, it's something that I still enjoy. And it's just all those twists that they throw in there. Again, it's the reason why I love the Saw franchise. And maybe this is the one that got me into liking that kind of storytelling. I don't know. But I enjoy the way that they wrote this, especially with all the stuff that comes up in that third act. And just all those shocking twists and surprises. And again, it's just another reason why I favored this one over the rest. Again, like I said with the characters earlier, I understand that this won't be for everyone. This isn't for everyone, and because it may feel too overstuffed and overwhelming, and logically some of the things don't make sense. But again, expand your expectations just a little bit and you'll be fine. But again, I understand it won't be for everyone. Film's subjective. We all have our opinions. But this one, yeah, definitely for me. And speaking of our main character, played by A.J. Cook, Kimberly, I thought she did a really good job here. She had a pretty promising career here, especially in Criminal Minds. I think she's really great. I think she was really great here as our main lead, the main one that has the premonition this time. I thought she carried her role very well, and I thought she brought such a uniqueness to her character that I really did enjoy watching her do her thing and just do what she has to do and try to defeat this thing at all costs and try to save a lot of people, kind of like Alex Brandon from the first one, but in a different way, of course. But I enjoyed watching her, just do her thing, and I thought she was pretty entertaining for a main character. It was somebody that I could follow throughout the film. I really enjoyed her character. I thought she brought a real freshness to it, especially with all the stuff that goes down with her in the third act. This film just made her character feel very vital to the narrative of what was going down to that extent, and I really did enjoy her character. I felt like she just really made her mark in the series, even though she never stuck around. This is the only film that A.J. Cook was in. And once again, I gotta mention my main man, Tony Todd. That was pretty enjoyable to see. You get a little bit more dialogue here, a little bit more of his knowledge of death, and it kind of makes you think, like, why does this guy know so much about death? How is he so in tune with what everything was going on? Because right when the characters visit him, he knew that they were coming. So, I don't know. With this new one, they said that they're going to explore more of that. So, I don't know. We'll just see. But that's always been a curiosity of mine. Who is this character? He's like the most mysterious character, like flesh and blood character as far as we know, in this whole entire series. I thought Tony Todd did a really good job, even though, again, like in the first film, it was only like a 4 to 5 minute cameo. But he was cool. The carnage, I thought, was a little bit improved here. In the first film, I didn't think it was that strong. Here, as with all sequels goes, and the number one rule for sequels, I thought it was improved. It was better. It was a little bit more of a shock value, and plus that whole waiting game before each death, which is what these movies mainly focus on. It's that anticipation, and I thought it was a little bit more here on that side as well. With each death, you see something fall onto something else, and then that rolls over to something else, It gets caught and it flees over something sharp and then comes straight down, and I thought they did that so much well here. That first film, it's not bad, as I've already stated, it's not bad, but I felt like for Final Destination 2, I thought they did that so much better, especially with the death scenes and the lead way up to all of them, to all the death scenes. And I thought those were written so much better. With all the chain of events that leads up to each death, I thought was just done better here. And I really do praise how they handle it in this, especially over that first film. I didn't really mention the main event in the first film with the plane crash, but I thought the main event here in Final Destination 2 was a little bit better as well. The car crash pile-up, which it felt more tense, it felt more gripping. They go into more detail in what was going on with each death in that particular scene. And it's just that one scene that kicked this film off, that kicked this movie off. I thought they did a little bit of a better job here, a little bit of a more stamina and more tensifying moments that kicked this film off, and I thought they did a really good job here, a little bit of a better job here than in that first film. Like I said, they go into more detail, and it was more emotional than that first film, because it went on just a little bit longer, and it just gives you a lot more here. And again, that's another reason why I praise this film. Like, the whole entire time, my emotional depth was at an all-time high, and I was like, damn. Just damn. I just enjoyed the ride all around, and I just thought it was executed so much better than in that first film, than how that first film made me feel. Moving on to my negatives, and I only have one. The only thing that drags this movie down, that has always dragged this movie down, as much as I praise it, as much as I still love it, I just got to mention the elephant in the room. The way that they wrote Devon Sawa's character out, and for whatever reason, the actor just chose not to come back, whether he was busy or he just didn't want to, I don't know. But I kind of wish he did return, because the way that they wrote him off this series, the way that they killed him off, was lazy and a little lame. I gotta say it. I gotta be honest. It was a little lame. After everything that he's been through in that first film, death-defying stunts, and much bigger events, he gets killed by a brick off screen. Tell me, does that sound right to you? Now, I'm not saying that a brick can't kill you or harm you, but come on. For someone who's been through so much more, a brick? Really? They could have made it a lot bigger. They could have said that he died in another plane crash or something, or just something bigger, just something better than what they went with. I thought that was just a very odd choice, and again, that's the only thing that kind of weighs this film down for me. Despite all that, I still think that this one is the best in the franchise so far. It's fun, entertaining, and it's a must-own. Final Destination 2, what was your thoughts on that? Are you somebody who favors this one the most? Is this your favorite one out of the franchise? Did you get entertained by it as much as I did? You think this one triumphed over any of the others? Was this one the best to you, or was this just not for you? Was this not your cup of tea? Was this not in your ballpark at all? Leave me a comment down below and give me your thoughts. Thank you so much, guys, once again for clicking here and watching this. I really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Make sure to click that bell icon so you don't miss a thing if you like what you see. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.